Welcome to Chai Chat with Lavina. Just one day and one decision has changed the entire future of United Kingdom. It will no more be in the European Union. Prime Minister Cameron will no more be the Prime Minister of this country, and it is very possible that Scotland is no more in this country. Let's take a wide-angle view of Brexit as a whole.
The UK has voted to leave the European Union.
After days of speculation, the verdict was resounding and final. The Leave from EU campaign whipped a slim majority, sealing Britain's divorce.
There are 17 million people that voted for Brexit. It's a victory for ordinary people, decent people. It's a victory against the big merchant banks, against the big businesses and against big politics.
While the vote to quit the European Union was overwhelming, London voted to stay within. Even before the counting ended, the European markets went into a tizzy, continuing a streak of volatility. But as the benchmark European indices took a pounding, the Great British Pound plummeted to its lowest in 31 years.
Looking at it, most of the people are travelling in July, August. That's where most of them travel during school holidays. So we've been, over the last 2 weeks, we've been extremely busy, which is unusual. So people are thinking that sterling is going to fall, and part of the proportion are purchasing their currencies well in advance.
From the global market meltdown to political turmoil, it's all happening in the island of Great Britain. Shortly after the vote was counted, David Cameron announced that he would step down.
The British people have voted to leave the European Union, and their will must be respected. I want to thank everyone who took part in the campaign on my side of the argument, but in my view we should aim to have a new Prime Minister in place by the start of the Conservative Party conference in October. A negotiation with the European Union will need to begin under a new Prime Minister.
As the bloodbath spilled across the global markets, the economic future of the United Kingdom could rest on striking new deals with the European Union. From the shock to celebrations, the immediate aftermath of the Brexit vote was divided, much like the present EU. But the big question remains, where does the fragile European Union go from here?
It is for Britain and many questions for British people to answer in future as well. Pound has plummeted to its lowest since 1985. Market very volatile, instability all around. Let's see where Britain will go from here. New beginning and a new start.
I think the country requires fresh leadership to take it in this direction.
Is that June the 23rd needs to become a national bank holiday, and we will call it Independence Day.
People of Britain have spoken. For some, this has come as a surprise and revelation and a shock, but others are ecstatic. Let's try and speak to people who have won this game and those who have not. I'm here with the people from the Leave campaign who voted to leave the European Union, and they can't stop smiling. Is that right?
Well, I think we're entitled to after 24 years of struggle to actually get to this situation. And of course now we are in the process of getting our country back from the European Union, so we're very pleased, very happy.
You said Independence Day for the UK. You're carrying flags everywhere. It seems like Independence Day as well. How would you treat this as an Independence Day?
Because 70% of laws were made in Brussels. Now we will make our own law. The country will be sovereign. We will govern our own country. British people, British public will be governing our own country. That's why we say it's an Independence Day.
Okay. So where do you see this country going? What is it? What are your dreams now?
Trading globally as we always used to, without the restrictions of the EU Commissioner, Trade Commissioner. We're free now to do deals wherever, well we will be once we've left the EU, to do deals with countries throughout the world. So we should be able to get far more trade with India and all the other countries that we're restricted with trading with now.
Brilliant. And what do you see as the most pronounced or bright spot in this entire situation?
I don't know really. I imagine it's the fact that we've worked so hard to get where we are. We've been very passionate about our campaign, and well, we've defied the odds as the Remain camp were originally favoured to win this referendum. So yeah, it's our campaign in general. The fact that we've worked hard, we've gone out there and we've shown that we can do it.
Okay, you can do it, and you've worked very, very hard indeed. Now, what a lot of uncertainty is there at this point in time, and it'll take a lot of time for everybody to come out of the EU. In the meantime, there could be a rise in immigration as well.
Well, that's always possible, I guess. Yes, absolutely. I mean, there'll be people thinking to come to the UK now while they've still got the chance. We're not anti-immigration in UKIP at all, not in any way. We just want it to be managed, because the pattern of immigration we've had over the last few years has benefited the rich very much, but not the poor. But now we can have an equal policy. We can have more people from India and everywhere in the world, attract the best and brightest, but make it fair to our own people, which is what was not happening before. And that's one of the things we've campaigned on very hard.
David and Christian, two young and dynamic looking people who walked in here saying it is a very sad day for Britain, and that struck a chord with me. David, sad day, why? Tell me what you're feeling at this point in time.
I feel that we've lost a family that we used to be part of, an incredible club that gave us so many benefits. It made us stronger, safer, more prosperous. And now these people who have been spewing racist rhetoric have dragged us out of it and completely ruined the country, in my view.
Do you agree with this, and how would you see that in terms of the young voters whose future probably has been...
I think unfortunately the young people have witnessed a campaign which has divided our country. So much of our country has been given lies from a campaign which is populist, vitriolic and is bordering on racist so often, and has conned the British public into voting out of an institution which was so fantastic. And for a young person, that means that I have lost many opportunities. I've lost the ability to travel. I've lost the ability to have confidence that my country will be sat around a table with its European neighbours, tackling the issues that really matter to me and will affect my life over the next few decades, such as climate change and terrorism, because they've chosen to turn their back on Europe and have chosen to believe that they are better off by themselves when they are so clearly stronger together in a cooperative union with our European neighbours, and that makes me very upset.
So do you think there are a lot of these young voices who feel upset today, and where do you see Britain going from here now?
I think the problem was that we had a big issue with turnout, and that a lot of the older generation who are clearly in favour of leaving this incredible union were out voting, right? Do you think that's a problem?
The lives of young people have been dictated by the older generation, who will not actually admittedly be around to see the real effects of their decision, and that is very, very sad, because it is clear, it has been proven, that the young people were disproportionately for remaining, and yet they have had that opportunity to vote. They have had their future taken away, and that is incredibly unfair, and that leaves me as a young person very, very sad and disheartened for the future.
Like the country has taken us by a surprise vote, we are also facing a lot of surprises, and a lot of things are happening on the grounds of in London and in UK. And I'm here with some bunch of young people who are wearing hats representing something. Would you tell me, what does your hat represent?
Our hats represent that we want to stay in the European, and yeah, that's what we're here for today.
Oh, you're here to show your solidarity with the fact that you should have stayed in. Yes, exactly. Did you guys vote?
No, we couldn't.
We're under 18, but although we are wearing a British hat, we are still proud to be British, although we have left the European Union, and that will never fade.
So you could not get a vote, and yet your future has been decided.
Yeah. I think if we stayed in the EU, we would have had more opportunities because we're the next generation, but I'm quite upset, in my opinion, that we've left the EU. But
rather distinguished looking young people here who feel helpless and quite sad today because being under 18 they could not vote, yet their future has been decided for them. But they have not lost hope. They have said that once their voice can be heard and they will make and ensure that this happens, they will again raise their voice for UK to join the European Union. It doesn't seem like that the decision of Brexit will be taken up silently here. There are demonstrations happening, one of them being here, demonstration happening from the academic sector of this country, and they are quite unhappy about this setback. And let me ask you, may I know your name please?
My name is Carol Collett. I'm a professor in a university in London.
So what would you, let me in the Eurozone, what are you trying to say?
A lot of our students are from Europe, and for us to not have access to EU travel will be a real issue. We won't be able to join Erasmus programs, student exchange programs, and that will really affect the quality of our learning experience. Higher education in the UK is the best in the world because we provide multicultural learning. Without access to Europe, this will really affect what we do.
I'm not the only one. Every single people who are from Europe and were living in Brittany for 10 years, do you think they're going to stay there in a country of intolerance? Are you stupid? Don't you think that people are going to move their stuff elsewhere? I don't want to belong to a country that supports things like that. You're an idiot. You are an absolute idiot. Your economy is going to go down there. The UK is good creatively because of the melting pot that he managed to create. Think for Churchill, right? Your Churchill is a guy that invented Europe. You're basically making him like return himself into a thumb. That's all what you're doing.
So what? It's going to be uncertain for a while. I'm going to keep my European passport.
Really low at the
I
moment.
don't accept this result. I don't accept this result. I'm going to keep my European passport. I'm a European citizen and I'm not going to give it up.
And that is someone from Wales who's talking here, and most of the country, Wales has voted out. And here I have a European person. Where are you from, ma'am?
From France, but she's from the UK.
And there is British and French standing together. As a European, as a French, what does this mandate make you feel?
I mean, of course we stand together. I mean, I think this is just a really, really sad day. As much as informed British people, and I mean, you have the good case there. You have informed British people that are supportive of unity, support of nation, and so on. And then you have someone here who obviously doesn't know much about what it means to actually live together. And so I think, for us, it's just a message of, rejection, a message of intolerance, and that's all it is, really. I don't think there is much to say about, really, that no vote. That no vote was just a vote which was made basically, on the basis of intolerance and racism. That's all it is. So let's stop being totally stupid.
Okay, thank you very much. Very. Can you see the volatility not only in the market, but this volatile is also on the roads and just outside the parliament. This Brexit, it doesn't seem will silence everybody. It is going to raise a lot of voices, especially the Europeans living here seem to be quite hurt with this entire situation. We do not think this voice to get back to EU might die. It might just come again. It is still, I would say, a space to watch out for uncertain times ahead. Lavina Tandon for India Today from London.